A special meeting to order for March 24th, 2024 at 7:04. First of all, we'll stand and say the pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Donahue.
Yes.
Cottingham. Eichen.
Yes.
Gage.
Yes.
Mills.
Yes.
Trevino.
Yes.
All right, under new business, so we got, you guys are from Hennigan's back here. We're gonna go ahead and let you guys speak. If you would like to present your information in reference to the dam inspection, please.
So, I'm Seth Elliott with Hennigan Associates. This is Ronnie Paul. We were just coming. Jake asked me to come tonight, so just wanted to come, and we are going to pick up that work order tonight to do the dam inspection. Ronnie will be completing that here in the next few weeks. We'll get a hold of IDNR to talk to them about that. I don't know if there's any questions or anything from you guys. Jake just asked us if we can make it tonight to please attend, so didn't know what was on the agenda for sure.
So you guys have done this in the past, and several years ago came in and was looking at replacing that culvert, and however they did not opt to do that, to fix that properly, and dug a bypass out around that. So that is one of the things, I know I spoke with you about that.
Yes.
And that was not one of the remedies that was ever discussed or, would be approved by the state to do that. So that is going to be one of the concerns that we're going to have is that was done. And so now it's washing out.
Yeah, so we'll take a look at it and see the condition of the dam. Like I said, we know the spillway pipe needed replaced. Went back to about the record 2011 was when we started all that design to come up with the price. So yeah, we'll have to go out there, look at it again, see the condition. We'll have to try to get an estimate of how much dirt it'll take to kind of get a ballpark figure of what it's going to be to fix the pipe plus to stop the erosion on that channel. So,
Do you know by chance from your records when was the last time you guys was over here?
I think 2018 was the last time we did a dam inspection.
2018?
Yep. So
Okay.
it's usually every 5 years, and I know we started talking to you guys about this one back last summer.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think 2019 was about the last time, and that was when last time I had my records too, when we kind of talked about the options of how to repair it. So,
Okay.
And you said you needed the work order?
Yeah, Jake said he had it already signed,
Yeah.
and he was just gonna give it to us tonight, but if not, we can get it back from you guys.
Well, I have it. I have one. I didn't know if he has a separate copy, so
Okay.
he should be here.
Okay. Yeah,
Anytime.
we'll just grab it from him. And,
Okay. If he doesn't have it, let me know and I'll make you a copy.
okay.
Yeah, and that way if you don't want to stick around and listen to water rate increases or things like that you're free to go. But should you have any questions, you do have Jake's number to reach out to him, or we can provide you with the number to the water clerk, which is Dawn. She does a lot of our paperwork and stuff like that you can, at least make contact with somebody.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind sticking around just
Okay.
to hear about your water system and how it's going. It's
Okay.
been several years in that same file. It looked like several years ago we had originally started talking about doing some water infrastructure improvements. That would probably been in about 2015 timeframe. So
Okay.
I know there was some concern with some old 2-inch lines and stuff on the southeast corner of town. So,
Sure.
but that was a long time ago. I had to pull out notes to
Had to
see
dust
some
the
of that.
files off.
Yes. So, but yeah.
Okay, thank you guys for
Yeah.
coming, we appreciate it. We'll get you the paperwork and stuff as soon as we get done,
Yeah, sounds good.
okay? Alrighty, so under new business is discussion and possible action regarding the water rates. So, in your packet of paper, you all got a water and sewer points for the special meeting, and thank you, Don, for getting the information and taking the time to set up and to come up with some of the new proposed rates here on this. We're going to go through the list because there's several things on here to kind of point out. So, for those of you that don't know, Jersey County Rural Water has increased our rates by 27.82%, almost 30%, coming from Jersey County to us. The Village of Shipman cannot absorb the increase and not pass it along to the customers. No way we can absorb this and, not raise the water bills. Not only does this affect you guys sitting out there, but it affects every one of us up here. So, unfortunately, this is just something that we're going to have to deal with. Village of Shipman has consistently lost money in the water department. So Don's laid out a couple of things. Losses without the inclusion of payroll for the last 3 months. In December was $414. January was $3,971.66. And in February was $1,256.50. So if we're not able to pay our water bill to Jersey County, what's going to happen? We can have our water shut off. So unfortunately, we're getting passed along an increase. An increase of 27.82%. So that was approved by the Illinois Commerce Commission. So as we speak right now, the current rates for an in-town user, it's $48.06 for the first 1,000 gallons. That's the minimum. And it's $15.40 for each additional 1,000 gallon. Someone out of town, it's $59.59 for the first 1,000 gallons minimum, and then $23.10 for each additional 1,000 gallons. The new proposed rate, with just increasing it at the 27.82%, in town would take your water bill to $61.43 for the first 1,000 gallons, and $19.68 for each additional 1,000 gallons. Those of you out of town, it would take your water rate to $76.17 for the first 1,000 gallons and $29.53 for each additional 1,000. Now, that's just going with passing the rate as to what Jersey County's passing on to us. As we know, when you look up there in the losses at 27.82, we are not, doing anything other than, and we ain't even breaking even because we have places where we have water loss. So at that 27.82, we're not even breaking even with the increase being passed on to us from JCRW. So Dawn took it upon herself to do a proposed rate with an increase of 30%. For an in-town user, that would go to $62.48 for the first 1,000 and $20.02 for each additional 1,000 gallons. Someone out of town, it's $77.47 for the first 1,000 and $30.03 for each additional 1,000. Now, this you don't have on your paper. I had her figure up when I met with her earlier and we went over this at 32% markup. In town, your first 1,000 gallons is $63.44, and for each additional 1,000, it's $20.33. If you're out of town, your first 1,000 gallons is $78.66, and it's $30.49 for each additional. At 35% increase, your first 1,000 gallons are $64.88 for the first 1,000 gallon, and $20.79 for each additional 1,000. If you're out of town, it's $80.45 for the first 1,000 gallon, and $31.19 for each additional 1,000 gallons. So, looking there, so right now, at the 27.82%, your minimum bill would be $79.37 with the sewer added on. The 30% with sewer added on, the minimum bill would be $80.42. At 32% with the sewer added on, your minimum bill is $81.38. And at 35% minimum with sewer added on is $82.82. So you have a range from an increase of $11.37 to $14.82. So I know that raising the water bills is not something that any of us want to do, but unfortunately it's something that we're going to have to make a hard decision and to do because we're responsible for supplying water to the people in the village and to whoever is outside that is on our water line as well. Anybody got any thoughts here?
Well, my thought is we would have to go, I feel above the 27 just for the fact we're in the same boat. We're at least gonna have to go to the 30 or 32%. My opinion.
And so that's why I had Dawn do the 32 and the 35 because, you know, we've had water lines break and we don't have any money setting back for that. If we was to have a major water line break, you know, and it takes, you know, more than one coupling and a piece of pipe or, you know,
Right.
manpower and this and that, like I said, this affects every one of us in here. And unfortunately, in the time that we're in today, everything just keeps going up and up and up. So I can tell you, like back in January, like them water lines that broke, you know, buying the saddles and the pipe like that. We also have a hydrant that we discussed last month that's leaking up on Carlinville Road. You know, we're talking at $4,000 plus for a hydrant, you know, fire hydrant to replace that. Things ain't getting any cheaper for us. And I understand that, you know, we want to make it to where it's economical for everyone.
With the fire hydrants, that, you know, one fire hydrant, with the increase of 32%, at the end of the year, it still hasn't paid for one fire hydrant.
Right.
I mean, if you do the math, I mean, we're just barely breaking even, or we're even, if we are breaking even.
Well, that's the problem. We're not breaking
You know,
even because
So, you know, if you raise it to 32% even, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but if they're charging us this, and we're not even breaking even at the 27%, then what's your other option? I mean, you have no other option. We already replaced one fire hydrant, correct? All right, so you're already in the hole there. We got another one, the way I understand it's leaking. So even at the 32%, you're still in the hole.
Yeah, I mean, you're in the hole.
What was that?
I mean, how much would go to these older folks in town?
I understand that. I truly do understand that. You know, I'm getting no younger as we go, you know, and,
That Social Security's not covered at all.
well, I understand that, Jack, but, you know, what do you do over there in Jerseyville? Because they have, you know, the rates are the same over there, if not more. You know, Brighton's the same way.
But there's Jersey rates floating.
so here's the problem. Everybody wants to always throw up, well, let's look what Brighton has. How many of you realize that Brighton's water goes down into Godfrey and back? You know, I hear all these people get out here on the social media and talk about, you know, we don't know what we're talking about. Look at Brighton and this and that. No, here's what you got to look at. You have to look at something that's similar to us. We don't even have 300 customers, do we? We're shy of 300. They've got a couple thousand customers. So naturally, they can spread it out a whole lot easier than what we can. You know,
And they also get it straight from
straight from
American Water.
We're kind of paying the middleman who's buying the water and then selling it to us.
Yeah.
I mean, so when we hear these people sit out there on the internet and all these other great social medias, you know, at least let's get the truth out there, because right here it is. You can have that, I mean, and I'm gonna assume that that came from Jersey County Rural Water, and do they charge everybody the same price?
I don't know what Jersey does. Here's the price on this.
Is that from Jersey County Rural Water?
Yes, sir.
That's what I'm saying, is that everybody paying the same price?
You'd have to ask somebody above me. I don't do that. This is what it says here. 2,000 gallons, $45.50. We're way above that already.
Are they paying the middleman? Are they paying the middleman?
I don't know.
They are.
This-
Okay,
this
but
is- this
how
is-
can, if you don't know, how can you bring up this
It
and
says
say,
right here.
this is what they pay?
Right here.
I understand that, but that is not what they're charging us.
I know that.
How much are they charging us for a minimum rate of that?
1,000 gallon, right here, it says right here, in town.
But we don't buy it by that,
48.06.
we're a bulk customer.
But that's what we charge our customer, 48.06.
Even at what we're getting, though, Jack, I mean, but we're still losing money. I mean,
48.06. Not very even close.
You know, 20 years ago, we tried to get Jerseyville, and we tried to get Gillespie to take over our water and all that, and they wouldn't do it because all of our systems were in such bad shape. But nobody, you know, we tried to get grants. You know, if we could ever get everything up to date, with grants and things, we may be able to get somebody to take it over.
The door's lucky enough, they got in Jersey.
So Medora didn't get a grant, that grant runs to up north, that does
They're-
not,
They're lucky
Cover all
enough that they
of-
got in with Jersey.
they didn't get all of their city, then like, you know, we have people out there that this and that. So I talked to somebody who was over there and in charge of that, that's running north to Rockbridge and stuff, so what little bit that went through there, they got replaced, but it didn't replace all their existing water lines in Medora, so, you know, they may have a little bit of it, but they're still sitting in the same boat that all small municipalities are, and, you know, at one time, we owned our own treatment plant. We got our water right out of the lake here, so you could charge pennies on the dollar because we didn't have to pay nobody or anything. You just had an employee that, you know, treated it. Now we have to buy our water from an outside source, and they're buying their water to supply us from an outside source. Everybody's got to make money because if the middleman don't make money and he has a water line break, then guess what? It affects us as well as them. I mean, and unfortunately, that's the day and age that we're in, is that, you know,
But I mean, it's sad we gotta raise it, but we gotta do it, I mean, we gotta do something. I mean, it's gonna be like, well, I don't wanna live over here because their taxes are $12,000 a year, and it's gonna be, well, I don't wanna live in Shipman if they got a $200 a month water bill. There's nothing we're gonna be able to do about it.
well, and I can tell you that Jerseyville's ain't no better. I have a cousin that lives there, and for two people, their water bill was $192.
Yeah, I mean,
You know,
they got more rates than we do.
But once again, there you have one company that
ain't
they're
what
buying
he's
the
saying on
water
that
from.
paper right there.
Pardon?
I said, that ain't what you're saying on that paper right there.
Right here, that's Jerseyville. This side I'm looking at, the ship.
I'm talking about that other paper you was looking at, the one that you brought.
That's the one she handed out last month.
Yeah, that was last
Okay.
month.
But
Jersey County Rural Water, I think.
okay,
That's the letter telling us one vote, 27.82% increase.
And also, correct me if I'm wrong, Don, but did they not tell you that they had to give you a different rate because we buy it in bulk?
Yes,
Instead of
we get it
what's
in
on that
bulk, so
paper.
it's not that, we don't pay what that paper shows. We pay it different because we get bulk rate. But they are providing to 1 meter, so even still, we're now providing into 280 meters that we have to maintain those lines and those meters and that supply. It's not just the 1 meter that we have to worry about paying for.
okay, how much is a meter? if we go to replace a meter or two in the house?
There's still some that's inside houses, am I correct? That needs
Yeah,
to,
we still got about, what, 10 or so, 12 of them need to be replaced.
I think we're down to, under 20,
Okay,
that need to come out of houses. We have 3, I think, that are still, being estimated, but that's because whoever installed the meters, something happened with that, their lines go wonky. So, you would have to ask Jacob for a better explanation, I apologize. So we do have 3 that have to still be estimated, but the
as far as
ones,
the cost of the meter, do
The
we
cost.
have any idea?
I
We
forget.
bought a case of them, and what was it, 6 of them? Or 8 of them in
I
a
thought it was
case?
8 we bought.
Because it don't come like you'd think it
No, it's-
does in a 12, you
no.
only get, and then you've got the meter set and the pit and all of that has to go in, so you not just have a meter, but you have a meter set that holds the meter. You've got the little thing that goes up for it to read electronically, you've got to put the pit in there, So yeah, it's, and the new ones that we ordered, instead of having any like moving parts or anything, it's got an eye in it, so it reads the water as it goes through there. And we went off of Dwight because that's what they're putting in, and he recommended that we go to, kind of eliminate that mechanical piece that goes along with them. But the other thing is, right now, if we was to have a meter or 2 meters break or quit reading, we're back to estimating. So, we don't honestly know how much water you're using in a month if we're estimating it, because we don't have the supplies that we need to be able to go out and to make a repair.
So you don't think he has any meters at all on him right now?
No, we do not.
No, we do not.
Don, what's our sewer rate now?
sewer rate is $17.94.
$17.94.
It's
For
at the
Don.
bottom of
It's
your
on your
first
sheet right
page.
here. Right at the bottom, it says your sewer rate $17.94
Sewer rate.
for first 1,000 gallons.
Are you trying to figure out what the new minimum bids or bills would be at those rates?
Well, I'm just trying to add up with my bill too.
Oh, okay.
Well, I can tell you my bill is anywhere from $140 a month on up. So, like I said, it's gonna affect all of us in here. I don't like having to raise it, but I like to be able to go to the bathroom and turn the water on to take a shower, or to go to the kitchen and turn the spigot on to get a drink of water.
Do you recall when you ordered them last?
They came from Corn and Maine's where they came from.
That doesn't help.
No, I
I think it's been a while.
Oh, wait, look at,
What's that rate? 2,000 gallons.
Or I mean, 2,975.
so maybe $29.75, $3,000.
for not just one meter, that would have been for the case.
For the- for 8 of them?
Yeah, I think it was 8.
Yeah, it's not, it's a
Different.
very,
Yeah, use it. I think it's around 2,000.
So $370, $72 each.
that's just for the meters, so
That's what I'm saying.
that doesn't include,
That's the other thing you gotta look at.
set.
We talked about fire and stuff, we're already $3,000 to replace one fire hydrant. And that's not man hours or anything else, that's
Nope.
just by the fire hydrant. Then, you're looking at another $3,000 to get more meters.
Yep. And here's the thing, if you don't put the meters in and start having actual readings, you're losing money. So until you have meters in and you have actual working meters, you're at a loss because you can't say that, you know.
Nobody wants to raise rates. I don't want to see them raise rates.
Oh, I agree.
mean, it's just like your gas prices. Nobody wants to see gas prices raised, but they do, because it's the way it is.
I don't know how much that stick of plastic is at Garmin Home, but you get that, and then he buys that meter set and stuff there at Core in Maine with them, you know, so that's all brass,
Yeah, you got
So-
the tube that comes up and down.
or copper, or whatever it is, so you know that it's all expensive.
They can put that in.
Yeah.
See that there?
Manuals.
Yep.
Put it over the toe,
How long does it usually take him to do a meter change out?
He can do it pretty quick.
Oh, two churches.
Okay, when I first started doing the water filling, this is what I came into that has 2 million gallons, 1 million gallons, 900,000 gallons. That's where those meters were at. And at 1 million gallons, it starts reading slower. So it's like they're getting more water than what they're paying, what we're metering that at. So I wanna say probably 50% or so of these have been changed out. I think we might have a couple left at a million, but all of them that were in the houses were the first ones that we started replacing, those and ones that had to be estimated every month and or that were leaking. Like if they had a leak there, they got moved at that time.
You guys, and Tim, any ideas, thoughts, concerns?
Unfortunately, it looks like, yeah, we're gonna have to raise, but the question is, which is the right amount? How much?
I mean, we're already losing money every month. I mean, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I don't even think 32% is enough. I think 35%, and I'm paying the same amount as everybody else is increasing, but, you know, meters have to be replaced. We got a fire hydrant leaking, how much water's leaking out of that every month that we're losing money on right there? You know, you got $4,000 to fix it, plus Jacob's time to do that. You know, we know the infrastructure's terrible, right? They just said it out here 20 minutes ago. When do you start to fix that? Because if not, in 10 years, we ain't gonna be able to have running water in town.
We gotta leave ourselves some wiggle room, like nobody's to say that Jerseyville won't come back 2 years from now and raise it another 27%, you know.
You know, I mean, I'm sure that rate, if they just raise it now, I don't think you're gonna see an increase. I would hope not anytime soon.
They didn't last year, but 2 years
They've been running every
ago,
2 to 3
they
years.
did
3 years.
40-something
Right, so
percent, and then the year before that,
If
they
you
did
don't
40-something.
get ahead of them right now, you're never gonna catch up to them. And that's when you're never going to, and it's bad because we're buying it from a buyer. That's the bad part, right? And we have no control over that. That's what's the bad part.
So the prior board, when it was sitting, I talked to the gentleman from IRWA, Beverly was still on here, and the other guys was on here. I talked to him, and he told me the good rule of thumb is you have to raise that 3% every year. And at that time, he said you need to raise that 33%. Come back, presented the numbers, they decided not to do the 33, did 25%. He was already 8% behind then, and then these increases start rolling in, and unfortunately, then it falls on to you guys now to where, you know what? This was, okay, we did a chunk of it, but we didn't do what was recommended by IRWA, who, you know, is statewide and sees how these increases and everything goes in these municipalities. And, now here, once again, you're backed into a corner to where you have to, it's a hard decision, but.
Well, it's not a decision anybody wants to have to make. I mean, it
No,
affects everybody.
You're right.
I mean, I think 35% is the minimum you have to look at right now for the increase.
There's gonna be 6 very unpopular people in town.
Well,
We've always.
I've been unpopular for almost 50 years,
Ever since I've been on
so.
board, I've been, an asshole, so, I don't
Unfortunately-
care. This is
unfortunately,
what
you're
we
gonna
have
make
to do to
somebody happy and you're
sustain
gonna
it.
make somebody mad.
This is what we have to do to
We got
sustain this
business, we're
town.
gonna be unpopular.
But you see how many people we got to back us on discussing water, but then it'll be all over, so they should have
That's
been here.
because these
To listen,
people that
yeah.
sit and, want to get on Facebook and
I
get the
agree.
facts from whoever, they didn't come here and sit and ask a question, or they get misinformation from a representative on the board. That's the problem. Come to a meeting, get the answers.
Exactly.
Because going to other towns and saying, hey, this is what we should have done, and this, that, and the other, that's not the answer
How
to
many of them
do.
put in for being a trustee? There
Zero.
you go.
There you go.
I agree with raising, I don't know if I'd go 35, I'd go 30 or 32, but that's my opinion. Just to have some wiggle room down the road.
Because if they come back and hit you all again in 2 years, you might have to really jump it.
But that's just it.
Oh, yeah.
If you're gonna raise it, you'd be better off raising it to, like Gage here said, you'd be better off raising it to 35, and into 2 years, you've already accomplished something right now. If you wait for 2 more years, and then you say, oh, we gotta raise it again, whatever, you're just barely,
We're in here talking
you're not
30%
making, you're
again.
not making nothing.
Exactly.
Possibly, right? I mean, we don't know what the future holds, none of us do, but nothing's getting any cheaper. I
And
guarantee, that's
it don't-
guaranteed.
My thing is, at 30%, let's say you raise it 32%. At the end of the year, next year, you're still gonna be in the hole. Because you're already in the hole now, raising it that, whatever it is, you're not gonna get out of that hole because you got hydrants, you got these meters, you got all this other stuff.
You gotta get them fixed.
You gotta get them fixed. So you're still in the hole, so that's the problem we have.
And until you can get in front of that, and you can be able to start putting money back into the water infrastructure, you're never gonna be able to talk about getting grants and having those kind of conversations. 'Cause right now, they're out of the question. They're not even nobody's gonna touch you. Nobody's gonna come in here and say, we're gonna do this and that for you because it's so deteriorated. And it's no fault of anybody up here. It's just,
And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you go the 27.82 or you go the 35%. People are gonna complain because guess what? It's a whole lot easier to get on social media and complain. So whether you raise it the minimum or you raise it to 35 or whatever,
I mean,
It's like you say, it boils down, at some point you have to have some money for the overhead
Yeah.
so that you can sit it back and say, hey, now we've got a cushion and this, that, and the other. But this is your guys'
I
decision to make.
mean, we're making a no good decision because we've got to raise it. It's got to go to 27.82 no matter, in my opinion, no matter what.
So for a point of reference, our water bill this last month, we had 2 extra children and an extra adult. And we had our highest bill ever, and it was at $231.39. And with the proposed rates at 35%, we would be paying an additional $91.85. So I'm telling you right now, I don't want to pay the higher rate, but I can't make a decision based on my household. I have to make a decision on what's best for the village. I'm not the one making the decision. I'm just putting it out there that these are the numbers that we have to consider. So
I mean, it's an unpopular decision no matter what, but I mean, I think in worst case, you're at 32%. I mean, 35, I feel is, again, everybody's taking the hit, but I think if you tear that Band-Aid off right now, it's a lot easier to absorb if they do something in 2 years to us. 'Cause it's inevitably probably gonna happen.
Yeah.
Their rates are gonna go up, and it'd be an easier conversation in 2 years Probably should have been done way back when,
It should have been done.
but
Yep.
we can't control what didn't happen, right? So,
And unfortunately, we have to look at this and run it as a business, you know.
well, it's,
If we don't have no money to do something, then, you know,
Okay.
let somebody turn the water faucet on one time and no water comes out.
Been close to that
Sucks.
before.
Right, and not because you didn't pay your bill, because we didn't pay our bill.
But we need to really get these meters up and changed out, so we're not losing, because we're just guesstimating each month. We don't know if there's 2 people in the household, or if there's a guest come in with 5 extras,
absolutely.
so.
But you gotta have the money to
Yes.
be able to afford the meters and, you know, everything that goes with it, to put it in.
You know, if you raise it this time, all right, 2 years, and they come back and they say, okay, we're gonna raise the rates. But we, as what we did right here, are setting good at that point in time, we won't have to raise the rates. You see what I'm saying?
Or maybe not as much.
Or maybe not
Because
as much.
you've got some of
Okay,
that.
but we have got to make up the difference now. Because, like I said, in 2 years, we might be sitting a little bit better off, and they say, okay, we're gonna raise your rates another 3%. But we've already hit that amount. We just say, okay, that's fine, we're gonna let it go. We'll eat that cost right now.
And then you'll be falling back behind again down the road.
Exactly, that one time, we'll eat that cost. But the next time they raise their rates, we have to raise it that 3% to match, or better.
Yeah, it'd have to be better.
So, you know, we're in a catch-22. It doesn't make any difference what we do.
Or if they come at
We're
you,
gonna be assholes one way, or we're gonna be assholes another way, so
you gotta build
it's
it
fine.
in. You gotta build a cushion, because again, and even if they do raise the rates 3%, you don't wanna hit the full 3%, you might be able to meet somewhere in the middle with that increase if you've got some of that cushion, but, I mean, it's not gonna get any better until, I mean,
Is there any chance of getting on that new water system going that over?
If we can get the line. If you can pay for the line.
How far this way? Supposed to be coming through here.
It's gonna come across
Bonneville, two
miles,
Bonneville.
or Prairie Dale Road.
Wonder if we got a water line there. Well, that's what's wrong with us, doesn't it?
The only thing we have is the one's going down, cuts across Christopher's and shoots over to south of the junction.
That box right over at Powell's Yard.
Yep.
From there this way. I'm sure they wouldn't sell it. If they did, it'd be a price.
But that's supposed
If we
to
can't buy
go
meters now, we couldn't buy nothing else.
yeah, through Carlinville, come down, shoot back across and over, so. And, you know, I don't know how long, I don't know what the projected time span, if it's 5 years, 10 years, what it is to get that through, but
I thought I read somewhere that you're starting to turn some of the bids loose.
I don't know. But, I mean, even if it's 2 years down the road, we've gotta do something here right now with our water until, you know, that gets through here and whoever's on the board at that time can make a decision on whether they wanna hook onto that.
No.
So 32% in town at 63.44 at 20.33 for each additional 1,000. At the 35, it's 64.88 for the first 1,000 and 20.79 for each additional 1,000. So you're talking about what, $1.44, you know, for the initial, and then 66 cents. 56 cents, you know, for each additional 1,000. Anybody have any ideas?
You're talking about a dollar more. If you go, if I wrote this down right, you're talking a dollar more if you go to 33% or whatever it was, 32%.
So the 32% is $63.44 for the first 1,000 gallon.
$1.44 more.
And at 35%, you're at $64.88 for the first 1,000.
$1.44.
Yeah, you're talking about 44. I mean, you'll spend that in bubble gum in the store. Come on, give me a
He
break.
had beer.
Huh?
He had beer with that. I don't know if both of them.
I think we ought to make an ordinance, we can do that here now. Yeah. But, you know,
I mean, I think the difference between 32 and 35 is, I mean,
like Mr.
it's minimal to the customer, that 3% difference. It's just, it's that increase up to that 35% is
Exactly.
what the hurt is.
Like Mr. Reed said up here and said one night whenever he was at the meeting, you know, the water bill's the water bill. We got to do something, you know. Each one of us has got a cell phone, I'm sure. And every time you turn around, they're raising rates on that. Or you got DirecTV, they're raising the rates on that. Or you got this. But doesn't nobody say anything about that because we want to sit there and watch our TV. You ain't calling DirecTV, you ain't calling AT&T, you ain't calling this one here. Fine, you don't want it, take off these channels. But we ain't got that option. We can't just take off what they want. I say the 35 myself. I don't like it. I hate it. But that's,
So you making that a motion?
I'll make it a motion.
I got a motion by Cottingham that we raise the water rates to the 35%, which would be $64.88 for the first 1,000 and $20.79 for each additional 1,000. Those out of town, it will be $80.45 for the first 1,000 and $31.19 for each additional 1,000 gallon. Do we have a second?
Second.
Got a second by Mr. Gage. Yeah, let's roll call that.
What was that rate again?
I'll update this page that I gave you with those additional options.
Okay.
That way you can
Yes.
have them.
And then it's $20.79 for each additional 1,000. That's the minimum.
First,
That's your first 1,000.
yeah.
And then out of town, it's $80. All right.
Our sewer, what's gonna happen on that rate?
Yeah, well, see what
We're
we're
gonna
gonna
do
do
it
on
next
that.
year, do it all together.
All right, so yes, roll call that, please.
Donahue,
Yeah.
Cottingham,
Yes.
Eichen,
Yes.
Gage,
Yes.
Mills,
Yes.
Trevino. Thank you.
All right, so it's gonna pass, the rates are gonna go up 35%. So you can just give you a quick overview. Again, the minimum with water and sewer currently at this rate is gonna be $82.82. All right,
I will plug those numbers into the ordinance for sewer and water rates as appropriate, and then I will report back next month with what the ordinance number is.
Put an article in the side of your journal. They do the massive rate increase, we're gonna increase our rates.
Okay.
So let the public know why.
put it on Facebook. Everybody seems to get on there
I'm
and
not
get
putting it,
the wrong news.
It'll be there by the time we get home.
put it in the paper.
All right, so moving on this here with the sewer rates. Currently, all sewer customers pay the same rate. $17.94 is the first 1,000 gallons, and then it's $10.30 for each additional 1,000 gallons.
Okay.
So septic holding tanks are pumped on a 3-year rotation, and some locations in town are pumped every year. Some locations are counted as multiple tanks. Most recent rate for pump outs is $180 per tank. I also have, we'll get to that here in just a few minutes, for that on our list. All commercial accounts must be pumped every year per the EPA. There are 25 commercial accounts, so on the back of your handout, it has and lists all 25 commercial accounts. The town hall, the shop, the community building, fire department, the park, the auction house, the United Methodist Church, Shipman Marathon, Shipman Elementary School, the Ball Diamonds, Jason Verity, Brickstone Apartments, 16 Bar and Grill, Shipman Post Office, the Shipman Lodge, Frontier, CHS, the Zion Lutheran Church, Illini Racing Pigeons, Rose Lane Apartments, Precision Excavating, the Brick Farmhouse School, DG Partners, Dollar General, Rupert's R&R, and SS Management Group. There are several commercial accounts that potentially could be given an exception due to the lack of occupancy.
And those were, I got those highlighted for me from Jacob earlier. These highlighted ones are the ones that there's no way those can be
Okay,
given an exception.
so on your list, if you want to put an asterisk or mark these, the ones that must be done every year is the auction house, Shipman Elementary School, the Ball Diamonds, Jason Verity, Brickstone Apartments, 16 Bar and Grill, Rose Lane Apartments, Brick Farmhouse School, and Dollar General. So those there, according to Jacob, that need to be pumped every year, in which got a high volume of should these accounts that are pumped yearly or have additional tanks be charged a different rate? Some suggestions to address. Increase the rate to these accounts by up to 2 times the current rate. 1.5% would raise them to $26.87 for a minimum, and $8.93 increase nets $107.15 annually. $15.45 each additional 1,000, and net depending on the usage of what they use.
So can I?
Yep.
Okay, so that should basically read to you as if we raise it 1.5%, the minimum will increase by $8.93, which will give us $107.15 annually for that account. Now, what can't calculate what that would be over 1,000, so over the minimum, which all of these counts will be. So, sorry. You need to take that into consideration when you are considering the $180 that costs us to pump one tank. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay. I just want to make sure y'all were on the same page.
So if you increase that 1.75%, it's going to be $31.40 minimum, and it's going to be an increase of $13.46, which is going to net you an annual $161.52 plus whatever usage that they have. Going up to a 2% increase would be $35.88 minimum, would be a $17.94 increase, and it would be $20.60 for each additional 1,000. And like Don said, it's going to depend on what usage they have to cover that. And all of those are over the minimum. So, if we increase only the minimum on these accounts to cover the next year's pump out, $180 divided over 12 months equals $15 a month. If you increase only the minimum on these accounts to cover the 2 additional years pump outs, that's $180 times 2 years divided by 24 months is $15. At $200 times 2 years divided by the 24 months gives you $16.67. So these accounts are charged the cost of the pumping on the additional 2 years, or in other words, every 3rd year. Every year for 2 years in May, this is an example, there is an additional charge for the pumping for the current year. The 3rd year, there is no additional charge.
Does anybody have questions about that? The way I put it on there? I was hoping that it was pretty clear, but just in case.
So regarding those accounts that have, that counts as multiple tanks should be charged a different rate. For those that count as 2 tanks, we have 7 accounts. Should they be charged for the additional tank yearly? Do we double the regular rates? Double the regular minimum only? Double the regular rate plus the above with respect to those that are pumped every year? And should they just be charged whatever the pumping rate is for the additional pump out at the time they are pumped? Right now, the pump out is $180 unless it's an emergency pump, and then it's $285.
And so the list of these accounts that have multiple tanks is the very end. There's a list, except for the auction house wasn't on there. I didn't get that typed in. Sorry about that. And that one has 2 tanks. Jacob brought that to my attention at the little powwow with him this afternoon.
So what would you like to do with that? So on a regular residential household, it's $180 to pump that. Those that have, that we highlighted up here, you know, that have to be pumped every year. So that figures into our, 100 or 90 tanks that we try to pump every year so that we get, you know, stay on that 3-year rotation. And like I say, you've got some that count as 2 tanks. So you pump that out, you're pumping it out, it's 2 tanks. And then, excuse me, you can do a residential, because the truck, when they come and pump, holds 3 pump outs. I believe it is when they, 2 or 3. Maybe it is only 2 pump outs when they come and do that.
But this one has 3 tanks.
The one that counts as 3 tanks?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So one of those is the Brickstone Apartments. The other one is the elementary school. On the back of this page, if you look here to the side, it tells you how many tanks that each one counts. Yeah. And for those of you that don't know where the Brickstone Apartments are, that's the ones over on Bernice Street, because Rose Lane's the ones down here at on Rose Lane.
Yeah, I don't understand that one.
Which one's that, the Bill Stoops?
Yes, sir.
I don't know if Billy's and his,
That bad. Bill,
Right.
Bill, why?
right, but I don't know if them 2 tie in there. Do you know what the correlation is with Bill Stoops as to why that's 2 tanks?
Just said that for some reason he has a tank there and it wasn't big enough and that for the house, and that they were able to add another one into it at a different time, and so it's actually got 2 to where one isn't big enough, and so it's like guess 1.5 tanks basically,
Okay.
technically, I guess. So they add another tank.
Okay.
So I would say that they can do 3, a minimum of
3 per time they're
3
in town?
tanks. Because I never have any dates that have less than 3, but there are sometimes I have more than 3.
So it's looking like 6, so it looks like that
And they're like, hey,
they can do 3 at a time then, for 3,000 gallon? Okay?
Okay, oh, full load counts as 3 tanks.
Okay.
So, there you go.
So one pump would be like the school would be one pump, the apartments, otherwise are 3 residents would be considered a load.
1 load.
One.
Yeah, on the 904 Prairie,
Yes, sir.
that says well, isn't that mound?
It could be. Let me type it in.
Double check that.
Is that you, Brian?
No, I mean, that's 7, I think Roger Mary's across the road, I think that's 904.
Okay.
You're an odd number. Because you're even going up this side of the road.
Yeah, 904 is I think.
904
That's
Prairie.
the house where Drew used to live at?
Oh, yep, it's not.
Okay.
Sorry. I took that off of it.
I know we had 2 of them over there.
Is it McCray, Bob's old house, Schultz? 884?
I'm just going off of what I
Yeah,
pulled off of
that,
that thing.
That's probably close to over there.
So I probably pulled,
That's on
I don't know
Bernice
where I got
Street.
both. I can't tell you where I got bullet from. I hit 904 and it popped up Lakeview instead of,
705. That's the maximum shop.
705? 705 what?
Bernice.
Okay, my question is, are we sustaining on
That's where
the sewer right now? Are we losing money on the sewer? Whatever we're doing this?
Financial
Can't
report.
answer that.
Don't have financial reports. So-
Yeah, you do. You have the amounts in your water sewer reports.
Right here.
We're probably losing them everything.
I mean, we have a balance in, like, we are not
Here we go.
month to month in sewer like we are in water. Sewer, we are maintaining that balance so that we can do the pumpings and whatnot, so,
That's what I'm getting.
but that being said, we've also done a whole lot of work out. The sewer plant that still has stuff coming up, we have some, lift stations that had to be addressed recently. We've got a sewer line over here that's gonna have to be repaired, and it's gonna involve some engineering. So, we don't keep that in mind as you're
Making them see.
making decisions. I can pull the last financial report.
I think we're probably losing.
Well, and like Dawn said, we just replaced a $10,000 valve out there, and we've got some other stuff that's going on.
Well, how much did it cost to have them guys come in here and roll and move that line going through there?
So they've only been in and did a section coming across. They're gonna come back and go from the railroad tracks back to the east to see what we can find, or what they can find. So
I think it was $1,800.
it's gonna, he told us for a day it was like $1,800. And he only was here for a short amount of time, so he only charged us, I think it was $300, but he said he would come back and do it because he's at another municipality that has a issue that needs to be addressed right now. But he was able to open the line up from Young Lane going that way, and apparently it was clogged, and he was able to get that done, so we're not babysitting the manhole anymore.
Okay, currently in sewer, we have a month-end balance on the financial report from earlier this month was $27,250.31. Now, this year's septic pumping,
It's gonna be the same as it was last year.
it's a 95.
180.
What do you mean?
He's got 95 on the list.
Do 100 that way in case.
100,
Yeah, that's what we
Times
have a couple
180.
extra.
18,000 will be paid out to be pumped. And that's if there aren't any emergency pump outs or issues. When they're pumped, like if they can't get to the
If they can't get
thing,
to the lid, they charge to open it up, so Jacob tries to go ahead of them and make sure that, yes,
Everybody cleaned up and ready to go for it.
Yes.
All they gotta do is pull it and plug it.
sometimes they have to dig inlet and outlet, they charge us extra for that. The- At the, like the
so
Lakeview
one,
pump
like
station,
if
we
it's
had
the
to,
3, it counts as 1. Correct?
I said that again?
When they come and pump the school, it's counted as 3 tanks. That counts as 1 for the 180, or do they charge us 180 times 3 to do that?
So this one is for last year. We have to, I don't think that's on there either. Gotta pump out the sediment tank yearly out at the sewer plant. And that's an additional $495. The bar, $285 a year. So like, with the way they put it on here, I'm sorry, I'm trying to, so they have the school counts as 3 tanks, so.
Okay, so 180 times 3,
It's
So
all
about-
for all 3 of them.
yeah. About what, 580? 560? 540?
3 tanks.
540? Okay, so
3 tanks.
180 and 3,
They do a
yeah.
60-tank pumping. Well, we got 9250. You know, we got the rotary roof that's going on, that's $1,800. Take that off of there.
What kind of heat dump do we have?
For what?
Or heat dump? Bar, sales tax,
Oh, I don't know the answer to that question. That's an Amanda question.
gaming,
Gaming.
Yeah, that's
What
Amanda,
comes
I'm
in
sorry, that's an Amanda question, because
on,
I don't do
Games and
those.
stuff like that.
I can find out if you need me to, if you want me to.
As far as sewer, what kind of income are we getting right now off of the rates that we're charging? Do we have that?
You should have the water sewer report, the water report.
8726.
Yeah,
Rate sewer,
So-
$821.
Sewer billed in December was $7,537.71. Sewer billed in January was $9,000 and some change. Sewer billed in February was $7,000 and some change.
Received 87, billed 75.
And if you want further back, I can go get those reports as well.
somewhere between roughly, what, 7,000 and on the reports we have, up to 9,000, just depending on the amount of water usage that we have.
I might be able to pull a report for like the last 12 months for sewer. See if I can do
In
that.
December, we billed for 16,385 for water. In January, it was 18,000. Back in February, it was 16,000. But in January, that's when we had that leak, so that could account for some of the water, why there's an increase.
Well, that wouldn't be affecting the sewer amounts at all?
No, the water here
Okay.
is 16, 18, and back to 16. Then on the back, it shows like the monthly expenses to Killian's. We got power and one with some with Ameren, one with MJM. So you've constantly got a fee going out of sewer as well.
So, I'm not comfortable saying that number, because this is, okay, let me say why I said that. So the way that the report reads, it's got them listed several times over, so just give me a second. It's looking like about 100,000 is what was billed in the last 12 months for sewer. About 100,000.
So this 1.5, 1.75, and 2%, that's on these 25 other.
Yeah, that's just on those commercial
On
ones
the-
that have to be pumped yearly.
Yeah.
So if I put those options on there, so that you guys had some different things to look at. If I were to tell you the easiest way for it to be billed is gonna be taking those 2 years, those 2 additional years, and dividing it over the 24 months, and actually probably even better to be divided over 36
36, right? 3 years, 36 months. My math thing was making me worried, sorry. So I would maybe even divide it over the 3 years, because that way they're paying it over the 3 years and I'm not having to remember to bill 2 years and then not bill that third year. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I would maybe recommend that, because otherwise whoever comes in after me is gonna have to know if they were billed for that, when they're due to be billed again, that kind of thing. But if we separate it out over the 3 years, because that's the cycle it is, that might be a better,
What's the OT water?
currently,
Says right here, OT water on February 2025. Water and sewer payments received, water and this is.
out of
OT.
town.
Out of town.
Yeah.
That's got the idea of total receipts.
I'm sorry, I'm confused.
Here it says water, received, water and sewer payments received, water, 17,000. OT water, $2,933.
I have it broken out so that you guys can see how much is coming from each rate.
The 17,000, that includes out of town water too.
No, that's
No.
separate.
No, that's the
OT
OT
water,
water.
there 2,900.
Yeah,
Yes.
correct.
We got several waters in
Yeah, 17 plus the 2, yeah. That'd be your total one.
there. Late fee, $181 per room.
That's late fees charged to,
That's income for us.
yes,
$8,300 income on sewer. $97 late fee on that. $29,000.
Anybody got any ideas?
So at the 1.5, at the 2687 minimum, that's gonna be $107.15 annually, right?
Yep.
That costs how much to pump it? 180?
180,
Yes, me covering the cost.
right?
Well, I make a motion to go to 2% on the
On the commercials.
commercial sewer rates.
All right, I got a motion by Donahue to go 2% on the commercial accounts, which would be the 3588 minimum
That's on sewer.
That's
and
on
1794
sewer, yeah.
increase on what it is at this point.
That's on federal cost.
okay.
Do we have,
Hold
go
on.
ahead.
Increase commercial accounts by 2% for the both minimum and additional?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
so
Yeah.
that's gonna put us at the 3588 and 2060.
Yes. Got that.
One sec.
Tell me when you're ready.
Okay. All right,
Do we have a second for the motion to go 2% on the commercial accounts? Got a second by Mills. Let's roll call that, please.
so that was Donahue and Mills.
Mills.
Right.
Second. Yep, Donahue.
Donahue,
Yes.
Cottingham,
Yes.
Eichen,
Yes.
Gage,
Yes.
Mills,
Yes.
Trevino.
Yes.
All right. Let's go down to the last thing on the sheet here, the septic placement.
Hold on. You still need to address the additional.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes. So the tanks that are, the count is 2 tanks, which are the 7 accounts. Do we want to double the regular rates? Double the regular minimum only? Double the regular rate plus the above with respect to those that are pumped every year? Should they just be charged whatever the pumping rate is for the additional pump out at the time they are pumped? Or what would you like to do? And there's only 7 of these accounts.
What do we get
That are
charged for the
two
double tank?
Two times.
We get charged
$180, so $360.
I say pass that on to the customer, the additional thing, and that's it.
So we're gonna charge whatever the pumping rate is for the additional pump out at the time they are pumped. So we're gonna add the 180 onto their bill for that pumping.
Yeah, they take both tanks out, put one big one in.
And that's what it was. That's what it
I
was.
mean, that's gonna increase the rate anyway.
Originally went in.
So it's not it's not that there's 3 tanks, it's
They're
that
getting
their
pumped
tank
twice.
is,
Right.
their tank equals 3
Right.
regular tanks, so it's counting us as, I'm saying on
Yes.
one, it's 3 tanks.
Yes,
It's not 3 separate tanks, it's
just the size of
One
the
the
tank.
size of the tank is,
One big tank.
uh-huh.
All right, so I got a motion by Cottingham that we bill them whatever the pumping rate is at the time it is pumped.
Second.
Got a second by Donahue. Let's roll call that, please.
Donahue,
Yes.
Cottingham, Eichen,
Yes.
Gage,
Yes.
Mills,
Yes.
Trevino.
Yes.
Need a minute.
Okay.
Okay, this is all gonna be ordinance number 2025-1. These three items for rates.
Okay. Everybody get that?
Yeah.
And I will have that prepared for the meeting in April.
Okay. All right. Last thing on this sheet, the septic placement fee. So Dawn went through the minutes and found this is what she could find in the minutes. July 11th, 2016, meeting minutes. There are 4 properties around town that has problems with their septic tanks. A motion was made by trustee Hant to fix the 2 worst ones with a second by trustee Donahue. Roll call all A. The ordinance states it is the landowner's responsibility. However, there are very few residents that could afford to replace theirs. We are to ask customers their thoughts on adding $1 to $2 on their sewer bill, and the village take responsibility of the tanks also. August 18th, 2016 meeting minutes. The village was deciding whether or not to raise the sewer bill by $1 to $2 a month to cover the cost of maintaining the septic tanks also. Trustee Clerk made a motion to raise the sewer by $2 a month and take over maintenance of the tanks, with the second by trustee Ham. A letter will also be sent to all sewer customers informing of the raise and why before it takes effect. Roll call all A. Motion carried. Ordinance number 2289, B-Boy, dated August 8, 2016. Increases the minimum from $12 to $14. No other changes to the services. No notations in the meeting minutes regarding passing of an ordinance. Also, you have a copy of these ordinances in your packet if you would like to look at them. Ordinance number 2263B, dated August 8th, 2016, outlines new sewer users tap-on rules and regulations. No notations in the meeting minutes regarding passing of an ordinance. October 26, 2016, letter to customers. Effective on 12/1/16, the sewer rates will increase by $2 a month. This increase will be used to repair or replace the septic tanks in town as needed. Currently, the ordinance reads that the septic tanks are the responsibility of the homeowner. With this change, you will still be responsible for the line from the building to the tank, but we will be responsible for everything else. If you would like to opt out of this option, please do so in writing no later than November 28, 2016. If you have any questions, you can call the above number, send a message on Facebook, Shipman Town, or email villageofshipman@royale.org. February 13th, 2017, meeting minutes. A motion was made by Trustee Hamp to fix K. Gonzalez sewer line from this point on, it will be homeowner responsibility. Second by Trustee Donahue, roll call, all ayes. March 13th, 2017, meeting minutes. There was discussion on water rate increases by Jersey County Rural Water. A letter from Jersey County Rural Water regarding rate increase of 10.35%. So, all of you people that are,
I'm sorry, and the ordinances there were the last ones passed for the water and sewer rates, or for the sewer rates prior to the ones that we passed most recently.
so I know this is a hot item for all of you that get on Facebook and the other social media. People wanting to know about the $2 fee. So, sitting on the board at that time was Brian, Ron Hamp, Jack Mills, Paul Quirk, and Tom Young. According to our minutes, there was nothing drafted for that.
It said it was like an insurance or whatever.
That said it was an insurance or anything else. I know at the last meeting, Jack, you was worried and was talking to Todd about that. There was no ordinance drafted saying that that was happening, or anything else. If we don't have something in writing, we can't go back and do that. That's something that this board did not create. That was created long before we are. So,
I would say the secretary, at that point in time, did not make an ordinance out of it.
so that's not this
But
board's
I don't
problem.
have,
Well, it's not. an
I
ordinance.
wasn't able
So,
to
What do
find
you do about
anything else, so
what
if
do
you
do
have
about
some,
What do you do about the fee people pay for that if it's not, you're gonna reimburse them or how does
well,
that work?
so
They're
you
going to
know-
make it an ordinance.
you didn't make it an ordinance.
Well, that's what I'm saying, I understand that, but
So-
you're still
Well-
charging them a $2.
here's
A month
my,
fee for that.
here's my question. I haven't been able to locate anything prior than to the 2018 conversion into this UV Max. That was in 2016, right?
Yes. Yep.
So, I don't know if it was the $2 increase was just added in there as the $2 septic placement and it doesn't increase the actual rate, or if, you see what I'm saying? Like, I can't tell you currently, I'll have to do more research, if that was, that $2 increase was listed now on your bill as the $2 placement, because that was done before me. Or if it was shown in an increase in the actual like monthly rate. See what I'm at? Are you following me?
Yeah, I follow.
Okay, so this says, the ordinance says that it got increased from $12 to $14.
Yeah.
$2 a month take over maintenance of the tank.
I currently can't tell you how that translated. It could be that that $2 increase is been showing on your bill all this time as,
Well, I'm just reading what it says here. That it was worded back in 2016.
Personally, I
$2 a month and take over maintenance of the tanks. So that $2 a month would be for maintenance of the tanks, I would assume. This is when I'm reading it, you know.
and this is where,
And we don't have
I'll
something
do
that
whatever
says,
y'all tell me to do. I
understand what
just,
you're saying. I'm
I can do
just
some more
reading.
research.
So
But
there's-
As of right now,
Raise the sewer by $2 a month.
so if you tell me that you're raising the sewer by $2 a month, you're not specific and saying, hey, we're gonna do this as a replacement.
Well, I'm
We're just
reading here to
replacing.
take over maintenance of the tanks. That, to me, that's maintenance.
So,
That's just what I'm reading.
and we can, Sure, we can all read that and have our own interpretation as to what it says.
Yeah.
I mean, because
Yeah.
it doesn't,
So my suggestion is we clean that up
Yeah.
with, I mean, I looked in our current ordinance, it says maintenance. It doesn't say what happens if a tank goes bad and it has to be replaced. It just says that we are going to continue septic pumping, and I don't remember exactly how it's worded, but it's like the pumping of the septic tanks, the sewer line from the tank to the main line to the sewer main, not from the house to the tank, and something else, but it wasn't specific as to that we will replace the tank. So if that's something that the board is interested in taking on, then that needs to be clearly outlined as to what happens if the tank fails. Makes sense?
You keep saying ordinance is not ordinance, it's just something that was in there.
it was addressed in a meeting and that was in the meeting minutes.
That is all I found in regards
There's
to,
never a number put on it.
There is nothing given, a number to say that, no.
Well, that point, that happened back then, should have been corrected.
well,
Is there any way we can correct
okay,
that now?
so, but here, the August 8th meeting, where you guys voted to raise the sewer by $2 a month, there is a ordinance that increases the minimum from $12 to $14. So that's $2 a month. What I'm saying is, I can't tell you if that $2 was reflected in your monthly rate, or if that $2 is being reflected as your septic placement on your bill.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I can't tell you how that
Should have been
translates.
placed Not on your rate.
But
But
it's
in
not
the ordinance,
specific.
it's saying to raise the rate too. So without contacting Mindy and contacting John Lynch, John is the one who transferred everything over into here, I don't know how it translated from prior to 2018. I just know what it's on here is now. Does that,
So
am
we don't
I
have
talking in circles? I
something
know.
that says that this is what this specifically was. We just have something that says that there was an increase in the sewer bill
By $2.
by $2. Doesn't say what it's to be used for or anything else. It just says that there's an increase in the sewer bill from $12 to $14.
If I remember right, it's supposed to be a separate $2 fee month.
Well, and once again,
That doesn't
it's
go
not
down.
documented, so we can't do that. The other thing that I want to address here is the October 26, 2016. If you're going to put something out and tell somebody that this is what you're doing, you don't give them the exception to not be included.
If they did then, they sent out a
But
handout in the mail.
you go to another village or another town, they don't say, well, Jack, do you want to be in this or not? It's blanket, it covers, because guess what? It's uniform across everybody. Then you don't come back and say, well, hey, you know what? My tank's bad or this, that, and the other, you'll fix everybody else's. There should have never been an opt-out. It should have been across the board for everybody if you live within the village and you're receiving that service, so.
That was the way it was done back then.
And so.
We can change that now.
So, for everybody that's out there, that's what was found on that. And if you take the $2 a month at 200 and even at 300 accounts, adds up to what, $600? I mean, pretty easy to spend $600 maintaining. I mean, we talked about a while ago, buying water meters. And you might be lucky to buy 2 meters and that's it.
I
So-
don't believe it was intended to buy water meters. It was intended for,
I understand, but I'm saying that,
we have your sewer fee
Okay.
for, cover the meters and for.
so,
I can tell you when it was transferred over into UV Max, which is what we use now. It was a $2 septic placement at that time, is how it was listed on your bill. I think I can go in here and see what the rates were. Hold on, let me see. I cannot. I cannot tell you what the rates were then. I'd have to pull the old, hopefully that they're in there, the old pending billing report to be able to figure it out for you.
Now,
Why don't we
if
table
that's
this
something
till
we
next
wanna look at, we'll look at it.
Next week.
I will do some more research on
All right, thank you.
it. Mm-hmm.
All right, discussion and possible action regarding the septic tank pumping. So we had a consensus at the last meeting. We got the bid from Spickerman's out of Bunker Hill Community Septic to pump approximately 95 tanks at $180 per tank. If it's a special pump out or an emergency pump out, it's $285 per tank during regular business hours. So,
280 for,
$285 for an emergency pump or a special pump out. Yes, ma'am.
thank you.
All right, so we had a consensus last month, or last meeting. Somebody want to make a motion to accept this? You're right.
I'll make a motion to accept it.
I got a motion by Mills to accept the bid from Community Septic for $180 per tank or $285 for an emergency or a special pump out. We have a second. Got a second by Trevino. Let's roll call that, please.
Donahue,
Yes.
Cottingham,
Yes.
Eichen,
Yes.
Gage,
Yes.
Mills,
Yes.
Trevino.
Yes.
Okay,
I'm gonna sign
yeah.
that for me. And
Discussion and possible action regarding the cemetery license. So do you guys all have a copy of the, okay, so what we have here is an email from the renewal reinstatement. It says, hello, please see the attached reinstatement form. Your license has been expired since, this letter says 2/25 of 2021, but it is actually,
But the information that Brian had been given was August 31st of '24. So this is the only communication I've been able to get back since our last meeting. Brian has tried to contact her a couple of times. She's not gotten back to him, so I'm gonna try her again. But the relicensing fee is $200.
yeah, so the correct fee for reinstatement is $200. And we discussed that at the last meeting. So do we have a motion to accept this and pay the reinstatement fee to the Department of Public Professional Regulations in the amount of $200?
I'll make the motion to pay the
We got a
$200.
motion by Donahue to pay the fee to the Department of Financial and Professional Regulations to be reinstated. Got a second by Eichen. Let's roll call that, please.
Donahue,
Yes.
Cottingham,
Yes.
Eichen,
Yes.
Gage,
Yes.
Mills,
Yes.
Trevino.
Yes.
All
So
right.
before I send that off, I will confirm with them that everything's covered, including the question on here about continuing education hours.
All right. Last meeting, we had a consensus to get cold patch, so I just need a motion for the purchase of the cold patch from last month's meeting.
No, last meeting.
I thought we already did that last month.
We did a consensus because it wasn't on the agenda,
Okay.
so we opted to put it on here when we was gonna
Okay.
meet, just to,
You have to take out a motor fuel register for those.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to get the cold patch.
I second.
we got a motion by Donahue, second by Cottingham to purchase the cold patch.
Okay, Donahue,
Yes.
Cottingham,
Yes.
Eichen,
Yes.
Gage,
Yes.
Mills, Trevino.
Yes.
All right. The other thing that was brought up that was a consensus was the discussion and possible action regarding getting the keys or the doorknobs keyed to where we can lock them, so if there's an event going on in here, there was a consensus to do that. Just need a motion to approve that so we can get that taken care of.
Make a motion.
Got a motion by Gage to do that. We have a second. Second by Trevino. Let's roll call that, please.
Donahue.
Yep.
Cottingham.
Yep.
Eichen.
Yes.
Gage.
Yes.
Mills.
Yes.
Trevino.
Yes.
All right, can I have a motion to go into executive session for personnel, please?
I'll make a motion.
Got a motion by Gage to go into executive for personnel at 8:40. Do I have a second? Second by Donahue. All those in favor, aye. All those opposed, the ayes have it. All right, get back to just a minute. All right, so I need a motion to come back into the regular scheduled meeting at 8:50. Got a motion by Trevino, second by
Second.
Cottingham. All those in favor, aye. All those opposed, the ayes have it, so no action taken. All right, public comments. Donella? Diane? Seth? Ron, is it Ron Paul?
Yep.
Angie? Eddie?
Yeah, couple things. I saw water bill. Are they not on the same system that we buy our water from?
Is what?
Is the same system we buy our water?
Who?
Pysol.
I have no idea.
Well, it says American, Jersey County, Rural Water. So that's the same water, correct?
I have no idea. This is not Pysol, this is Shipman.
I couldn't tell you who bills them.
Yeah,
You know, simple question.
and we're telling you, we have
We
no
buy it
idea.
from Jersey County, right?
We have no idea.
Our
This is
water,
not Pysol.
Shipman water is bought from Jersey County, correct?
Shipman water is bought from Jersey County Rural Water.
Pysol is also.
Okay,
For 1,100 gallons, $30 after the raise.
okay.
And ours just went up
Yep,
to how much per thousand? Per thousand?
$64.88 if you live in town.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
And once again, like I said earlier, you gotta compare apples to apples, not apples to oranges.
And where's the difference in the fruit?
I do not know how many people are billed in Pysol. This is Shipman, not Pysol. We don't
We're
worry
buying
about
it by
Pysol.
bulk. This is going to each person's house.
Go ahead.
The second question is, the water meters were read on the 15th of last month. Have they been read yet this month?
he's reading them tomorrow.
10 days later. What's that do to a person's water bill?
So it's gonna be higher than what it was the month before.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I'm saying, would we read the meter on one day, the following month, we need to
That means
read it?
it's lower the next one.
It won't be.
Yeah. That's,
Okay.
Hold
Less
on,
gallons.
hold on.
So, if you don't mind me asking, what are we paying per gallon on bulk rate? Or do you not want to release that to the public?
We'll wait till Dawn gets back. Now it's public knowledge. We don't have no problem releasing that.
Okay.
Meters were read 220, 221, and 225. So whose was read, where do you get the 15th? I can pull up the bill.
Yes, what we pay bulk rate.
What do we pay bulk rate?
I do have that information. We don't have that information in here.
$1,545.41. Expenses. January. December. Where is it? This is on.
53 minimum for the first 1,000 gallons, and then 14.80 per 1,000 after that. Where others pay for their regular customers pay 15.38, we pay 14.18.
This city pays what per gallon?
I don't know what, gallons, don't tell you gallons, that's the word for February.
Yeah, but just
Just
for
use it.
15, 14, what did I say, 14, 13? 14.
Something like that.
I just wrote down 1480.
Don't get frustrated.
Wow.
This is one of those.
14,
Facebook things.
14.18.
I'm gonna try to catch you doing
That's what we
something.
pay. That's what we pay.
Yes.
14.18, Eddie, you
But we can't then charge people in town $14.18 for 1,000 gallons because we have to pay for all the maintenance of the system, including our contractors, our employees.
Well, and it's like this, if they was that worried, they would've took the packet out and they'd be sitting up here.
I don't,
Once again, it's nothing but this whole thing to get social media stirred up. What's the next question? Because we're about out of time.
Well,
Yep, you get 3 minutes.
oh. Well, I hadn't been asking any questions. You've been
You was the one talking.
dilly-dallying. I've been
All right.
sitting here waiting for an
You got a
answer.
motion
She
to
just did it.
adjourn?
Hey, am I
Got a
done?
motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
Got a motion by Cottingham, second by Trevino. All those in favor, aye? Ayes have it.
Special.
Thank you guys for showing up.
Y'all have a nice night
time?
now.